And let me get that echo up out of there. Okay, there we go. Big Freeze here in the building. What's popping with you, my brother? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. The Giants tried to do their thing tonight, man.
You know, I'm a little bit hurt, clearly. You know what I'm saying? Because it's another game that we had right there in our pocket. Right there in our pocket, we had it. Yeah. Mistakes, silly mistakes. Most of them by Daniel Jones.
Yep.
You know, I don't even want to say most of them. A lot of them. Obviously, the 2 interceptions on plays that he does over and over and over and over again. And it's like, when are you going to get it? When are you going to get it? When are you going to understand? It's okay to take a sack.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay to take a sack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Constantly trying to make that play, make that extra play. Just take the sack if you have to. You know, and the awkward throws off of, his back foot, stuff like that, man. I mean, it drives me crazy because you see the potential that's there. You see some of the things that he can do, but so many just bad decisions. It kills me every single time. Every single time. And it's so evident in this game. One play, he makes a nice throw. He didn't have too many runs this game. A nice throw, a nice run, does something well. Then he turns around and instead of taking a sack or whatever it is, just throws a stupid ball out there and gets an interception. Even on the last drive. On that last drive, when Darius Slayton, came back to the ball to make that catch, that's the same exact type of throw that he gets himself in trouble with.
Yep.
So he threw 2 of them tonight, threw 2 interceptions tonight, and still came back and did it a third time.
Yep.
Same exact throw.
Yep. Slayton bailed him out, though. Slayton came back to that ball and weaved through and made a play.
He bailed him out.
Yep.
He bailed him out.
And so, the funny thing or the ironic thing is when young quarterbacks see that type of stuff, it kind of, in a weird way, builds their confidence that they can keep making that same mistake because they feel like they can get bailed out.
Right. Exactly. It compounds it. You know what I'm saying? They keep making that play because, they have the once or the twice or whatever that is successful. So they keep on making those plays.
Yep. Couple on, so.
OBS crashed on me, but we're back in the building, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for that. But we're going to go ahead and keep this thing moving along. So like we were saying, 2 main mistakes by Daniel Jones. Up and down the field, make a good play. Turn around and make a bad play. At some point, he's just got to learn you don't make certain plays. Wide open down the field. And, when you're playing Tom Brady, you got to capitalize on all of those things, right? You got to capitalize on everything when you're playing against Tom Brady. Because
comeback. You just can't.
Right. Because you just got to capitalize on those type of plays. Darius Slayton wide open down the field. He throws an interception on the other side of the field.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you got to capitalize on everything because eventually, and to be honest with you, Tampa Bay never turned it on. Tom Brady never turned it on tonight because the Giants defense played very well. Even on the touchdown plays, right? When Tampa Bay scored touchdowns, it's not like it was some crazy. When Gronk scored a touchdown, the ball was tipped, floated into his hands, right? When Mike Evans scored a touchdown, it had to be a over the shoulder to the back of the end zone catch. You know what I'm saying? Because the perfect throw.
Perfect catch.
Right, because the defense was playing well. The defense played very, very well tonight. Yeah. On the offensive side, of course, you know what it is on the offensive side of the ball. Daniel Jones just so many mistakes, and even after he scored, after he throws the touchdown to Golden Tate, and I do believe that that last play was a pass interference. But if he throws the ball in the right spot, it doesn't matter.
Right.
If he throws the ball in the right spot, it's a 2-point conversion. The game, maybe goes in overtime. Tampa Bay would have got the ball back. With 28 seconds left or whatever it was.
Right. But you can't. Daniel Jones didn't have to even make a perfect throw, right? All he had to do was just get the ball out on time, and the receiver could have adjusted. But since he threw the ball late, which gave the defender time to get there, it gave the defender time to get his arm in there early, even if you could say it was a pass interference. Either way, you know what I'm saying? But if he gets the ball out early enough, none of that matters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to throw a perfect pass there. You just have to make a good throw.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the defender is not even there. Winfield is not even in the play. But
right.
Daniel throwing it late gave him time to recover.
Yeah.
So, it's yeah.
And people are gonna go crazy, and they're gonna say get rid of Daniel Jones and all of that kind of stuff. But I think the kid has a lot of talent, and he has a lot of ability. It's the decision making, right? I can live with it in year 2. If he's doing this by next year, now you got to start thinking, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
If he's doing the same things by year 2. This year, all right, you still got these habits that you got to break.
Right.
And Jason Garrett, he's doing a good job play calling.
Yeah, that 2-point conversion play. That 2-point conversion play was a
nice
great play.
It's a nice play. He's doing a good job play calling. The players just got to make it happen. They got to make it happen. And of course, I get a text from Isaiah, who's not here, supposed to be here, but he's not here. Saying Daniel Jones is not the guy. Get rid of him. It doesn't matter. Whoever makes the mistake, he wants to get rid of him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whoever makes a mistake, he wants to get rid of him.
But that's classic. That's classic New York fandom, though. If you make a mistake, you out of here. That's what it is with every sport, man. They don't have patience with anybody. They forget how bad Eli Manning looked in his second year. Eli Manning wasn't a Super Bowl caliber quarterback in his second year.
Yeah.
Eli Manning made some of those same mistakes. Some of them even worse. So,
and I mean, listen, the Giants did a good job handling the line of scrimmage. I'm not going to say they controlled the line of scrimmage, but they did a good job handling the line of scrimmage, especially on the offensive side, right? I mean, you got Ndamukong Suh, you got Jason Pierre-Paul, right? You got you got a strong pass rushing team,
right?
And they did a good job holding down that line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And then downfield, I mean, there were guys. I mean, he overthrew Sterling Shepard, right? He missed Darius Slayton a couple of times.
Yeah.
He might have overthrown Ingram once.
Right.
It's tough. It's tough, man. He threw for 256 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He didn't use his feet that much tonight. 3 carries for 20 yards. That's another thing. There's some times when I think he needs to commit a little bit earlier to that run.
Right.
Sometimes just say, you know what? It's not there, but I see I can pick up these 9 yards. Let me go ahead and commit to it. he runs out and he's still looking, and then I think he commits a little bit too late sometimes. He does a lot of things too late because he's looking and not sure. There's so many things that he does that goes against what you want a quarterback to do. He throws back across the field. I hate when he does that.
Yeah.
Right, when he gets in trouble, and instead of sometimes going down, he's still trying to hang on and look for somebody or something to happen. And obviously, he throws interceptions. Sometimes, sometimes he starts to drop back and fade back instead of going forward. I know, you got your 1-step, 2-step, 3-step, 5-step drop, whatever it is. But sometimes, he's in the pocket, and the next thing you know, he almost ran right into a sack tonight by dropping back.
Yeah. Yeah, the one when he threw the ball to Slayton, the one Slayton saved him.
Yeah, exactly.
He almost ran into the defensive end.
Yeah.
But the thing I would advise Daniel Jones to do, and Giants fans, and probably don't want to hear this, is, man, listen, on those 2nd down and 10s or 2nd down and 7s, and your receiver's not open, man, throw the football away. Just get out of the pocket and throw it away. It's at least it's 3rd and 7. At least y'all still have the football.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At least you have a chance. You know what I'm saying? If you take the sack, now it's like 3rd and 15. Or if you throw an interception, the other team has the ball. Man, you have to have that mental clock as a quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody's going to be Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He has to be Daniel Jones.
Exactly.
It's not there. Just throw that football away, man. People don't like to hear the game manager, but you have to be able to manage the game. You got to keep your team in the game and stop trying to wedge those balls into Evan Ingram. If Evan Ingram's not open, go somewhere else. Because he threw a pass to Evan Ingram tonight that number 54 should have picked off. He was trailing. Evan Ingram had him beat, but he threw the football so far behind Evan Ingram that the linebacker could have picked it off. Right?
He's got to learn. He's going to learn one day. Hopefully, he's going to learn one day. I think he's got a lot of talent. He's got to learn. Simmons Singh has made a good point. He said playing for Duke is maybe hurting him because he had to make every single play at Duke. Right? He had to make so many plays that, it's now a habit for him. I don't know. We'll see. But he's going to have to make some changes, man. He's going to have to make some changes. Hopefully Jason Garrett can get to him. But look, I know the moral victories, people don't want to hear anything about moral victories. Neither do I. I want to win games. I want to win games. But, I was talking to Guillermo the other night on the show, and he was like, it's not even going to be close. Because I told him, I said, listen, when I come, I was like, I'm hoping that the Giants can maybe win, but at least be close and play a competitive game. He's like, oh, there's such a loser's mentality. You're glad for them to play a competitive game. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad for them to play a competitive game. They're not supposed to win this game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is the best team in the NFC East, probably. Play a competitive game. Be competitive. They had a chance to win. They had a lead in the 4th quarter. He was like, oh, the Jets and the Giants both going to get smacked. I'm like, okay. They had a lead in the 4th quarter. They had a chance to tie the game with 28 seconds left.
Right. So, right.
They got to find a way to make the right decisions. So many times when they have the chance to win a game, they blow it. Last week against Philly, they had a chance to put the game away. Evan Ingram drops the pass off the tip of his fingers. This week, they're up 17-15. They have a chance. Even if they go up 20-15.
Right.
But if they score a touchdown, right, they go up 24-15. They have a chance. They're right there.
Yeah.
I think, what were they, 30-yard line or something like that? Couple, 10 yards away from being in the red zone, and we throw a pick. Changes the game. Changes the game because you're right there on the cusp of being able to put these guys. I'm not gonna say put them away, but create some distance between you and them.
Right.
Create a little bit of distance.
Because you can manage the game differently. Because if it's a 2-possession game or a touchdown game, then you can do different things on defense that you wouldn't normally do in a close. You know what I mean? Like so instead of playing, aggressive man to man in a close game, you can play zone and have the other team methodically march down the field if they're going to score, as opposed to risking giving up a touchdown on one player. So, and then when you have the ball, you can run the football more and throw short passes and things like that. That's risky. You know what I mean? But it's with young quarterbacks, and the unfortunate thing is that y'all also have a young offensive line at the same time. So those things that you have to manage the game differently. You have to simplify the game plan, because I think there is like a young guard and a young Hernandez is
they started 2 rookies tonight. Started 2 rookies on the line tonight. And they did a phenomenal job, I think. The offensive line did a great job tonight. It may not show up in the running game. Right? The Giants, Wayne Gallman ran for 44 yards. Alfred Morris, who I like the pickup of Alfred Morris. I think that he is a crafty veteran. He just, he's a workhorse who just knows how to get the job done. He's not going to wow you with any, breakout, huge breakout plays unless the hole is just wide open. But he just understands how to get it done.
But he's not going to mess up any assignments. He's not going to mess up any assignment. A solid role.
Right. And he can block.
Right.
So I like Alfred Morris. Daniel Jones, he was 3 carries for 20 yards. Evan Ingram, he had 1 carry for 9 yards in receiving. Sterling Shepard had 74 yards tonight. Evan Ingram, 5 receptions for 61 yards. Darius Slayton, he needs to get more targets, I think. I mean, he gets, I don't know what the number of targets was for him. So he probably did lead the team in targets, I guess. So let me not say that. I'm not looking at all of the stats.
Is he the number 1 guy, or is Golden Tate the number 1 guy?
It's got to be Darius Slayton. And I think Darius Slayton right now is who Daniel Jones is most comfortable with as well.
Okay.
So
Golden Tate makes plays, man.
He makes plays. He can make plays. But I think Darius Slayton has got to be considered the number 1 guy.
Okay.
And he's doing some work. I like what I see from him, man. If Daniel Jones just has to get accurate, be on point.
Right.
Just got to be on point.
So how do you think the defense played tonight?
What'd you say?
How do you think the defense played tonight?
I thought the defense played good tonight. I thought they played very good tonight. There were a couple of from the beginning of the game, I was a little bit nervous because, Tampa Bay ran up the field.
Yep.
Saying easy, pop up the field, but then they held them to a field goal. And then after that, the defense really tightened up.
Yep.
So I felt good about the defense tonight.
That what surprised me is that the Giants didn't blitz much, but they ran that 8-man coverage and made Tom Brady basically methodically take I'm talking about after the first drive now. That made Tom Brady take them down the field, and you can see Tom Brady's frustration going back to the sidelines. Like, man, we can't against this team.
Right.
So I think the game plan was pretty good. And Blake Martinez, man, those pops he was putting on Leonard Fournette were legit.
Yeah. Some of the pass interference plays against the Giants and that did not get called for the Giants, upset me. The one play on Bradbury, I thought Mike Evans basically pulled him down on that play against Bradbury. Right. I'm like, come on, what do you want him to do? Because he didn't get his head turned around.
But it looked like Evans initiated contact. I think the thing that sold it was Bradbury had his arm around Evans's back after Mike Evans ran into him. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, if you look at the replay, Bradbury had his arms open, right? His shoulder was touching his back, but his arms were wide open, so he never wrapped his arm around him. His, he had like this, and I mean, Evans basically jumped on his back and pulled him down. It's like
what was that?
Right. I mean, what do you want? And of course, that play, that was a third down play,
right?
Which led to a first down. If
touchdown, it led to the touchdown eventually.
Yeah, exactly. It leads to a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? And if that play does not happen there, Giants get the ball back. The Giants get the ball back with, well, I guess what was it? 20. Well, I think it was 22-17. Maybe it didn't lead to a touchdown. I think it led to a field goal to make it 25-17. And then I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to go back and look. But either way, it led to points.
Yeah.
It led to points. I think it made it 20. I think it led to it being 25-17. Where if it was 22-17, the Giants if they come back down and score, touchdown.
Y'all have the lead. 17. Y'all winning what? 17-15.
17-15. 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Giants lead.
Yeah, and then they go down and score the touchdown, get 7, and then they take the lead. I thought that. Well, I don't know. Either way, they understand the point. If it extended the drive and the Bucs got points.
Right. Exactly. So. And then of course, the last play of the game, they throw the flag on a 2-point conversion. I know that Daniel Jones should have got the ball out earlier. I know. And he could have thrown it in a better spot. But still, what's his name? Winfield,
yeah.
I feel like he made contact with Lewis before the ball got there.
Right.
Made contact with him before the ball got there.
I still believe that's on Daniel Jones, though, bro. Daniel Jones, you don't even have to make a perfect pass, right? You just got to get the ball out to the playmaker.
I know. I mean, I agree. He's got to get it out. Right? But I feel like that was a pass interference. I guess, because we didn't have timeouts left, we couldn't challenge the call, right? Or I don't even know if that call could have been challenged, whatever the rule is.
Right.
It's painful.
I can't remember, but I think he may be able to challenge pass interferences. But you know what, though? I mean, Jason Garrett called a great play. Yeah, right. And then to the Giants' offense, they executed that play. Like in a lot of cases, they get pass interferences for receivers causing picks. And so the 3 receivers that were on that side ran their routes, and they didn't they didn't pick the man. The only thing, though, is Daniel Jones got that ball out late. That's it.
Yeah.
But but you live and learn with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one.
Right.
To the Giants next week. Let's see who we play next week. Who do we play next week? I'm not sure who we play next week. I think we play Washington next week.
Oh, okay.
I think we play Washington next week.
Yeah, let me see.
Try to find it now. I mean, it's tough because this was a point in the schedule where, I obviously wanted to beat Philadelphia. Figured we was gonna lose to Tampa Bay, and then you got Washington, and then you got Philly again. There was a chance where you could really make do something in the NFC East. There still is a chance, though. If you can find a way to pull off 2 wins against Washington and Philadelphia, you may be right back, right back in the thick of things in the NFC East.
And Philly didn't look that impressive against y'all either. Philly looked like they wanted to be a cat playing with a mouse, but the Giants kept countering them. I think they slept on the Giants, and that game wound up being a little closer than what Philly wanted it to be. I feel like Philly has better offensive personnel than the Giants right now, just because they're seasoned. A lot of those dudes are still remaining in that Super Bowl team. But the Giants are just reps. I think they just need reps together away from being a legit offensive unit.
Yeah.
And the defense is just, a little game management away from probably being a top 10 defense.
The defense
like get off the field, like not doing pass interferences and things like that, getting off the field.
Yeah. So the Giants play 1:00. They play the Washington football team on Sunday, and then on 11:15 they play the Philadelphia Eagles at MetLife. So if we can go to Washington and get a win right here, these two games right here mean a lot. You can go to Washington and get a win. You got 2 wins, right? The Redskins, the Washington football team right now, they're 2-5.
Oh,
right. I think they're 2-5. The Philadelphia Eagles, they're 4-1. So if you can go to Washington and get a win,
right,
then the Giants would be 2-7. And then if you can go to Philly and get a win, then the Giants would be 3-7.
Right.
And then you got to bye. Okay. If you can do that, that means you split with the Eagles, you swept Washington, and then you got one more game against Dallas. You can put yourself right in the mix to win the NFC East because you'll have 3 wins. Philly will have 3 wins. You'll have more wins than Washington. And I think you'll have, depending on what happens with Dallas during that time span, you could be tied or have more wins than Dallas.
Dallas is awful.
These two games right here are very, very important for the Giants.
Right.
So
very, very important. And then plus the Giants need some luck in the division too. They need Philly to lose some games against other division opponents.
Right.
Or whoever. They need Washington to lose some games too. And to be honest with you, the Redskins are having some of the same issues y'all having. Yeah. So, it's one of those deals where I don't see Washington winning out in their schedule either. So and then Philly has a whole bunch of injuries. So if the Giants can shore up the small things, like Daniel Jones putting that ball on targets on time, valuing field position, Daniel Jones when it's 2nd and 7. Throw that football away if you don't have anything. You don't want 3rd and 15. You don't want interceptions.
Right.
I mean, it's just small game management stuff that drives veteran coaches crazy.
Yep.
But young quarterbacks have to learn that, though.
Exactly.
So,
Yep. So look, right now, looking at the standings, Philadelphia 3-4-1, Washington 2-5, Cowboys 2-6, the Giants are 1-7. If they can beat Washington, you climb up a little bit. Then you beat Philadelphia. You give yourself 3 wins. Who knows what happens with Philadelphia next week? Maybe they, I'll check their schedule. Maybe they lose or, whatever happens. But you can put yourself right in the mix of things with one more division game left, which is the last game of the season versus the Cowboys. We'll see. The hard thing is if they make the playoffs, and if they make the playoffs at a, 6-10 or something crazy,
right.
It's kind of like, dude, how much do you celebrate that? They're a 6-10 team, but you celebrate what you celebrate.
When you make the playoffs, everybody's 0-7.
I get it. I know.
Yeah, just you just got to get in there. You know what I'm saying? And then plus two, the NFC Central plays the NFC East, I think. So then that's the reason why the Giants played the Bears earlier, right? Y'all have Green Bay, the Vikings, and other teams on your schedule, right? And so does that. If I'm correct, that means the Eagles and them have to play that same schedule, right?
Yeah. Besides, they had to play the same schedule.
Right. So their schedule will be tough too.
Yeah. So in week 9, the Eagles have a bye, which can actually help the Giants because they play the Washington football team while the Eagles have a bye, and then they come back and they play the Eagles.
Right.
Right. So you can you can leave out of the Eagles game if you can win both of them. The Eagles would be 3-5 while you're 3-7. if you can win both of those games and the Eagles have a tie. Right. So you could put yourself in good position. And then the Cowboys, let's see who they play over that same time period. Cowboys play. Ooh. See, they play the Steelers and they play the Vikings.
Right.
They play the Steelers on 11-8. They got a bye the next weekend, and then they play the Vikings.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the Cowboys are done. I think the Cowboys will be done.
So the Giants can have a chance if they can, the Vikings aren't that good, but, they play the Steelers.
Right. They beat Green Bay.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, yeah, they were hammering the Packers too.
Yeah. So we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens there, man. The Giants take another tough loss. Before we jump up out of here, I do want to talk about the Nets real quick. What do you think about this? The reunion of the Phoenix Suns on the Nets coaching staff.
So I like the D'Antoni hire for Steve Nash's career, right? How that impacts Brooklyn this year, I'm not for sure, because they have two superstars, and the coaching impact on superstars is more managing egos, managing minutes, and things like that, as opposed to things on the floor for cats like KD and Kyrie. What it does for the rest of the roster, I'm not for sure who's going to be there in Brooklyn. I'm not for sure if they're going to try to trade for a third star or not. But I do like the fact that they brought in Amari Stoudemire and Mike D'Antoni, two cats that have been successful at what they did in the NBA. Does that get Brooklyn over the hump? I'm not for sure. I think it definitely gets them into the talk of being a really good playoff team. Right, so I think they're probably a top 14 in the East, definitely. What it means long term. Is it a deal where the Nets just wanted to make sure that they have somebody on staff just in case the Steve Nash thing didn't work out? Maybe. Is it more of a Steve Nash needing a confidant to help him navigate, his first season in the NBA? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole thing with Mike D'Antoni and Amari Stoudemire.
Right.
It's having some guys there that he knows, some guys that he's familiar with, and if they plan on trying to create, some of the magic that Steve and Amari had with Kyrie and Kevin Durant, obviously it's going to be different because Amari was basically a pick and roll power forward. He wasn't handling the ball, really creating his own shot. It's pretty much, going to run a pick and roll, maybe hit him in the post every once in a while, then let him dunk on somebody off of Steve Nash finding him. Right. But if they're trying to, maybe create a little bit of that magic between Kyrie and KD by having Steve and Amari there, we'll see. I want to know how much are Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, KD, and Kyrie going to play 2-on-2?
A lot.
Huh?
A lot.
I could definitely see it happen. Playing a little bit 2-on-2. Amari usually keeps himself in pretty good shape. Both of those guys keep themselves in pretty good shape. Now, of course, they're not as young as Kyrie and KD, but it'll be some good competition for them two guys.
Right.
To just play around in practice, have a good time. With Mike D'Antoni, I think Mike D'Antoni is really there, like you said, for a confidant with Steve Nash, but also a veteran coach that's been around. He's never been to the championship, but he's been to the Western Conference Finals. He's played against stars. He's coached stars. He's been fired. He's had great seasons. He's had losing seasons. Right? He's been through it. He's been through the gamut. Besides going to the NBA Finals, he's been through it all. And I think
and you know what else? and he did some of that in New York.
In New York, you know? exactly. He did some of it in New York, right? So I think it's good for Steve Nash, because not only is it a guy that you don't have to worry about. At least I don't think. They seem to have a good friendship, so you probably don't have to worry about Mike D'Antoni going behind his back, trying to get that head coaching job. You know what I'm saying? And Steve Nash will rely on Mike D'Antoni. So Mike D'Antoni is going to be doing a lot of coaching too.
Right. If D'Antoni was ready to get his own game, man, I think he could have offered up for the Oklahoma City job if he was ready. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because the Oklahoma City job is still vacant, I think. But if he was ready to take on a job, he could have, at least threw his hat in the ring for that. I think probably stepping back, taking a deep breath, and then maybe jumping out and doing something else next year is probably good for D'Antoni.
Yeah.
The Houston thing, I think, burnt out everybody involved.
Yeah. So, well, Freezy, appreciate you for coming on. I'm gonna go, check out some more stuff about the post game. I'm reading in the chat that Daniel Jones is putting the game on him, and which he clearly should, because the game is on him. But hey, I'm out of here, man. Tomorrow night I'm gonna be with Guillermo, with Legion of Knicks podcast. We're gonna do our sportscaster NBA news stuff. Talk about some things that's going on around the NBA. I got the front stoop tomorrow night. I'll be following along. Obviously, all of us are gonna be following along with the election.
Yeah,
and seeing what's going down with that. So, yeah.
Let me say one thing before I go. So everybody, make sure that y'all support the NBK fam. Nothing but Knicks, 3BL, Legion of Knicks podcast, Blarn's Tears, Die Hard Knicks podcast, Nickish, Nick G, Cooking with Chef Isaiah, Andy N. Make sure y'all check out all the stuff. It's a big family, man. We trying to do our thing. It's of course, home base is nothing but Knicks, but we got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff that we want to bring to y'all. Thanks for Sam. I'm gracious. I'm grateful, just to be on, and I appreciate everybody in the chat and everybody that support everything that we do.
Yeah, without a doubt. Isaiah might get fired though, because he's supposed to be in here. He might get fired. He might get fired. Yeah. All right. I'm out of here, man. Appreciate the time, ladies and gentlemen. Be peaceful, and tomorrow's Tuesday night. Exactly. Yeah, I'll be on the front stoop tomorrow night and with Guillermo. So I'm out of here. Be peaceful.